first thought is, can't I do both? Stop. Hello, coffee cake. Welcome to my cozy, crazy, convicting, and cringy cafe. I'm Mocha, medium roast, barista, and host, and at Cafe Mocha, every ounce of our caffeinated ideas will brew up a latte fun with you all. Mr. Grumpy. He wasn't hard to spot, since he was nonchalantly leaning against the wall in the most deserted corner of the throne room, snubbing the drinks as well as the buffet. A few ladies were ogling him, but they didn't dare to come close, and I could understand them. His gloomy face wasn't inviting me to a chat with him either, but as Mazur had reminded me, these kinds of parties weren't meant for my own enjoyment. They were meant as tools of the political game. Right! And that, y'all, that's why I went over there, because it would, I'm not gonna lie. That's mad. Nah, we're not lying. Y'all heard me. But it could be both. It mattered to strengthen my bonds with the Farum, and even more to show the court that our enmity was now in the past. Absolutely. Agree 100%. Lost in his thoughts, he didn't seem to see me until I leaned back on the cool marble wall right next to him. The party isn't to your liking, my lord of Farum. If he was surprised, he didn't show it, and he raised his eyes to meet mine before scanning me from head to toe. I'm not particularly fond of these displays of vanity, no. That was certainly a take on things, but it didn't give me much room to react. I grew thoughtful as he considered what I should say, unsure of how to communicate with someone this closed off. Is that why I'm biting my lip? Is that why the music stopped? But it just struck me when I heard the tune of waltz floating through the air. I immediately straightened up. No! Girl, no! Girl. We gonna do it? You should invite me to dance. It was worth it, if only to see his stunned face. In fact, he seemed so shocked that he was scowling. Gnome-like mask disappeared, making him look surprisingly fragile. Ooh, maybe I don't like people, maybe I just like breaking them open. I think that's it. I think that's what it is. I beg your pardon? You said it yourself. We're in the middle of a show, and appearances are everything. I can see that you're not willing to chit-chat, but people are watching us. Neither you and I want the court to think that the crown and the Farum are still at odds, so shall we dance? That is, unless you don't know how to dance, of course. Oh, we playing with him. I like it. He hesitated, but my last comment seemed to tick him off, and he dryly dusted off his jacket. Of course I know how to dance. Well then, prove it. This time I didn't leave him a choice, and I curtsied as if I had just accepted his invitation. He looked at my hand with suspicion, as if touching it was going to burn him. But finally he took it and led me a bit farther, towards the center of the room where other guests were already dancing. And almost surprised. I'm way too excited to read this, apparently. I was almost surprised to find his fingers pleasantly warm. His behavior was so cold that part of me expected his skin to be freezing, like that of a devilish creature. Out of curiosity, as much as out of deference, we were given much more room than necessary. Another couple stepped aside or completely left the floor to observe us. My talents as a dancer were all right, but they weren't extraordinary. I felt nervous despite myself as I tried to keep my head high and my back straight, as dignified as possible. You're suddenly very tense for someone who threw a tantrum to be invited to dance. Is that a smile? I don't know what it is. I don't know. I gotta stop. Need deliverance. Of course, he had felt it, and his smile, sincere for once, showed that he had fun teasing me, and that made me grumble. Just lead properly, will you? I heard a hint of a laugh while he waited for the right measure and slid into the dance while surprisingly fluidly. Oh, look at that! The smile is reaching his eyes. About time. Oh. Could we just observe this graphic for a bit? Yeah. Look at that eye contact. Like, you know when you have eye contact with people, but it's because you're looking past them or like past their ear? This is eye contact, baby. This is like eye to eye, mano y mano. Can I take a picture of this? I could not. It won't let me. Oh, there it is. That's a nice dress. Some nice nails. He wasn't lying. He knew how to dance very well even, despite his badly positioned hand a bit too high and not firmly enough to properly lead me. I could anticipate his movements with ease. He was a good guide, and his gestures were precise and gracious. On the other hand, I was glad that everything was working out. But on the other, it bothered me a little to acknowledge his merits. Right, because we don't like him. Compliment him, make him tighten his hold. The first thought is, can't I do both? Stop. But I feel like he's the type that doesn't respond to compliments well. So I'm going to insult him as well as get what I want. Since he hasn't been shy about teasing me, he deserved to get a taste of his own medicine. Nonchalantly, I grabbed his arm to force him to correct his posture, making sure that his hand held my waist firmly, instead of barely grazing it as it had been so far. My gesture seemed to throw him off, and felt him falter for a moment, threatening to make us lose the perfect rhythm that we had imposed. I gave him the perfect opportunity to strike, and I took revenge for his petty comments. You're not a bad dancer, but your steps could be neater, my dear. Besides, your hand is still too high up. He muttered a few incomprehensible words, and I could hear it, just grumbles, amongst which I thought I heard diabolical, but I didn't respond. I was relishing his embarrassment enough to spare him further comments. Besides, it took all of my focus not to let myself savor my triumph too openly. Neither of us opened our mouths until the last measure played, and we finally separated in an elegant curtsy under scattered applause. Like a gremlin. Oh, jeez. Well, I thank you for this moment, Theodore. I won't keep you busy any longer. I see you have quite some success. Out of the corner of my eye, I glanced at the young ladies who have gotten closer and now wave their fans while obscenely ogling the Lord of Farum. Perhaps they had more respect for etiquette than I did, since none of them dared to accost him and openly ask for a dance. Still, he sighed and glared at me, apparently holding me responsible for the sudden attention he was receiving. Look at that smile! I ruthlessly abandoned him to his admirers, and I was surprised to see him play the part of the courteous gentleman after all smiles and polite comments. Clearly, I was the one from whom he refused to make such an effort. Which means we're different, which means he acts different around us, which means he likes us. Boom. My brain connects the dots for what I want so quickly, it's crazy. Your Grace, as you surely know, an essential task has come with your role as a ruler to listen to your subjects' petitions. They accumulated since your father's death, and even before. He was never very fond of that duty. Now that you've been crowned, you need to dedicate them a fair share of your time. That's fine. is especially important because the other advisors and myself has gotten used to lodging petitions on matters that require your attention, but do not fit into the council's agenda. I got it, bro. Yeah, let's do it. Whoa! I clicked that way too soon. I got it, bro. Yeah, let's do it. Alright. He took a moment to rummage through the items on the table before handing me a sealed parchment roll. Here you go. Well then, I'll let you study that on your own and go about your business. Feel free to go through more of them so you can grow familiar with the process. You'll be informed on their outcome in due time. Okay, so I'm not seeing an outcome in real time. That's kind of difficult. Okay. Dang, that's bright. Even if the crown is yours, I'll be wary of your blank brothers. For some, an illegitimate son is far better than a woman, and I wouldn't want the nobility to use this excuse so they can rid of you at the first chance they get. I've tasked the Master of Murmurs with investigating them. At the moment, he seems that most of them live a modest life as craftsmen or servants, but the simplest minds can be easiest to sway, especially since you haven't established any bond with them, which means then that nothing will stop them from betraying you. True. I suggest dealing with the issue in a permanent way. What do you mean? Alden? Alden, you are always trying to off someone. It's crazy. How are you the first request? It ain't by chance. Dang, this is about to be a hard one. You're right, it's best not to take any risk. Though I loathe these methods, I can't risk a civil war or a coup. I've given too much of myself to that. Now, so what's gonna happen if someone's gonna find out about this and then question my integrity and my character? As long as they haven't done anything to me, I refuse to let paranoia get the best of me and have them assassinated. However, I do recognize that my half-brothers are a threat, and I believe we should definitely keep an eye on them. Assign spies to each of them, and we'll decide how to react if they start plotting against me. I like that one. I refuse to become a tyrant like my father, to let paranoia trap me in a spiral of violence. So I'll take the opposite approach. I'll make them happy, which should ensure that they don't have any desire to take my title from me or cause me harm. Send someone to ask them what they want and do your best to satisfy their wishes, but make sure they're aware of my role. I feel like they're going to easily take advantage of that and just keep asking for money and crazy things, and then they still might plot against you at the end of it, and they probably will catch on that you're just trying to please them and find this to be phony. So we're going to go with the second one. Your Grace, all of our spies are in place, and for the moment they haven't noticed anything suspicious. Following the first report, I decided to set up an increased surveillance around Aaron, who appears to have a fling with the daughter of a local lord, and Yasin, as he is the court of Vario's court. I'll keep you updated on the situation. Okay, Master of Murmurs. Oh, that's the other guy. Yeah, he was also a looker. Oh, remaining actions. I guess let's just get right into policies. I feel like I don't need to change any of this. Didn't I just set these? Didn't I just well, I can't unset them, actually. Yeah, let's continue. Yeah, let's do that. Petitions. Your Grace, forgive me for bothering you with such trivial matters, but I'm in need of your impartial wisdom. 2 farmers from my village, who owned adjoined land, have been harboring a burning hate for each other for years, but as of late their scuffles have escalated to a troubling extent. Oh my, they have poisoned all of his goats? That's crazy. He claims that he did so in retaliation of his neighbor's actions. The latter appears to have deliberately led his goats to his neighbor's field so they can graze on it and destroy part of the harvest. But to poison them is like a whole new level. During his interrogation, he claimed in turn that he was taking revenge for the destruction of a fence, and so on and so forth. It never ends. It's impossible for us to determine who started the fight, and the tensions show no sign of subsiding. Our priestess has tried many times to act as a mediator, but to no avail. My sermons are just as useless. We tried appealing to our Lord's justice, but he's been away for his land a few months now. It is out of desperation that I dare bother you, Your Majesty. I'm convinced that you alone have the authority to require to instill some common sense into 2 idiots. Mayor? The mayor couldn't handle this? That seems a little bit crazy that a mayor couldn't handle this kind of request. I feel like this is definitely a mayor-like thing. And that's exactly what I meant first. This is exactly what I was thinking. I don't have time to solve petty squabbles. Find the local lord and tell him to take care of this ridiculous fights, which seem to worry the mayor so very much. Love it. Since it's impossible to know who's truly started the fight, we'll have to turn to the god. Tell priestess to flip a coin in order to determine which of the farmers should be punished. Once that's done, make a servant example out of the guilty party. It doesn't matter who started this childish squabblers. They're both at fault for escalating. Tell the mayor to punish them both. Perhaps spending some time in prison together will help them see eye to eye. I'm with this one, and I'm with this one. Only because this one, that's just not how the Lord Jesus Christ, Godhead, would handle things, I feel like. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so I don't think I can select any of the...
Oh, dang.
Oh, I did. Oh. Why did I... Because they didn't have the little cost signs next to them, so I didn't think... You know what? I'm okay with that result. Your Grace, I have done much as you asked. Indeed, it seems like their time in jail, they have found common ground. Their resentment towards you. I start feeling that they'll hear their grudge might lead them to try and cause you harm, and I have to keep an eye on them. However, I assure you that their plots are nothing for you to worry about. At least they have made up, and their farms will have never been more flourishing. Great! 1,000 thanks, Your Grace, for taking your time to shed wisdom on this affair. So, they're after me. They're two farmers. I'm sure, I was gonna call him Adam. His name's not Adam. Alexander can handle that with this sword. It's fine. Yeah, we're good. Hey. Oh, that's from, the policies I have in place. Got it. Okay, I thought that was just a bonus. Okay. I'm digging this. I was truly glad to be Empress now, but as I expected, I hadn't had a single moment to myself since the coronation. There was an endless and continuous stream of people paying their respects to me, and of more or less feudal issues to solve. Even if I was happy to finally be able to exercise my power legitimately, I also felt that I needed a break. Thus, after taking care of the most urgent matters, I had decided to take a moment to relax and... Oh. Let's go to the library, actually. Oh, see, I need to stop clicking and I need to start hovering. So let me guess. Theodore is here. Asha is here. Yep. And Alex, I keep calling him Adam. Why do I want to call him Adam? He doesn't look like an Adam. He actually doesn't even look like an Alexander. If you gave me an opportunity to name him, his name would be
8:01 p.m.
Henry. All right. We already did the thing with Theodore. I do want to see him again. I do. But I also kind of want to see Alexander now that he's not on duty. It'd be nice to just kind of chit chat with him a bit.